I said hello, you fools. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the Monday Night Live stream. Ken, hello. Jim, hello. Everyone, hello. Dave O, Rescue Dog Treats. Today, what are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about whatever you, the viewer, wants to talk about. After all, the viewer does drive the show. But I want to talk about something real quick. I want to talk about last week's live stream. We had a lot of engagement, almost double the average, which was awesome. I had the most fun in a live stream last week than I've had in a long time. And it's because a lot of people were contributing. So if you have questions, no matter how simple, no matter how hard, please ask them. If I don't know the answer, someone in chat might know the answer, and at worst, we can look it up together on the internet, which is what we did last week. So ask your questions if you got some. Make your comments if you got some. I really appreciate it. It helps. Also, don't forget to hit the like button. Make friends with the like button. It likes you. And what did I miss? Or if you're talking about last week, it was just like we had a really good back and forth going with lots of questions, and it always makes it more fun. And like I said, I don't care how simple it is. What's the nitrogen cycle? No matter how simple. We love questions. Nothing new to report in the fish room. However, I do have something to report on a little continuation from our members only stream. And I'm waiting to see if that person is in this stream and I can give them the good news. Well, maybe they'll rewatch it later, so I'll just say anyways. If you missed the video I posted this weekend, it's pretty good. It's only 7 minutes. Go check it out. I'll still be here. Leave the stream, go watch it, come back, and just about some pretty cool corridors that you may or may not have heard of. But one of the corridors is getting a lot of attention, and that is the corridors napioensis. Napioensis. I've gotten a lot of messages, which I really hardly ever get messages or emails about a video, so that's pretty cool. But a lot of the messages is, where did you get them? I really like that fish. Where did you get them? And I never had a good answer, right? Corey and I went to Portland about a month ago. Just found them at a random fish store we stopped at. They had 5 or 6. I don't remember how many. I bought them all. And I've never seen them before that, and I've never seen them after that. However, last stream, I did send our friend Dan at Dan's Fish a message, and I was like, hey, me and a lot of other people are interested in this corridoras, if you can find them. And he actually messaged me back. And now I don't know where my phone is. Oh, here it is. Right in plain sight, like always. Corridoras napioensis. I said, hey, if you can find them. And he said, awesome. No, I said awesome. Never mind. He said, sure, I actually have a source for those. It will take me about a month or so, but should be able to get some in. Neat fish. So there you go. Everyone who has reached out or commented about corridoras napioensis, if you don't know, they're just a smaller cory. Really cool, good-looking cory. Go watch the video. You'll see. They're awesome. And so take about a month, then go through quarantine. So maybe in a couple months, we'll have some really good quality napioensis. I did lose one, but that's why I don't remember. I can't remember if I bought 7 and then ended up with 6, or if I bought 6 and ended up with 5. I don't know. So I've just got a small group, and I definitely need to get more, and then add them into their own tank and get them breeding, hopefully next month. Curtis Schindler with the $1 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Matt Gray with $5 says minimum school size and tank for cherry barbs. All right, so this is actually a really good question because my opinion varies a lot from other people. You'll see cherry barbs on a lot of what can I put in a 10-gallon tank type videos. And while you certainly could, and honestly, I might have put them in that video too that I did, but I don't think so. You can certainly put them in a 10-gallon tank and they'll do fine. You can do a small group. However, in my opinion, I wouldn't put them in anything smaller than a 20. And probably a 20 tall. You can do a 20 long, but they're not really a schooling fish in my experience. They're more of a shoaling fish. I kept a group of them in a 75. And I don't think I ever saw them schooling once. Like, they would congregate, they would kind of hang out together, but like I said, shoaling behavior. But actual schooling, maybe like after a water change, maybe, but I don't remember ever seeing them school ever. So a 20 tall would be perfectly fine. You can breed them all day long in a 20-gallon tall. That would be kind of my minimum tank size for that. And UPS are living the dream. Thank you so much for the $1. I appreciate it. And Zen Ginger says 39 months. Woot and stuff. Yep. And also, the link, the pinned link there is to Dan's Fish. If you want to check it out, if you never bought from Dan's Fish, you get 10% off your first order. And it helps me out a little bit as well. It is an affiliate link, just FYI. Get all that legalese out of the way. And yeah, you're probably not going to find better quality fish. You'll find good quality fish other places, definitely. But better, probably not. Regina says, I have quite a few of those ones in your video that no one can pronounce. Sea tree is how I pronounce it. Corridoras sea tree. Those are another new one for me. Is the Corridoras sea tree. They came up and I saw them about 6 months ago, and I was like, that's interesting. If I ever, somewhere along my research, I just found them. And then I found them on sale in Peru, I believe. So the ones I have came straight from Peru, and they are doing fantastic. I haven't lost a single one, knock on wood. And yeah, I couldn't be happier. They're super cool. And like I said in the video, there is the Lepardalis is very, very similar. So if you like the sea tree and you can't find them, look for Corridoras Lepardalis. I think that's it. No, it's something else. It's not. Oh, you'll have to watch the video. It starts with an L. It's a long word. It's in the video. But anyways, they weren't any $12 though. I mean, that's how much I paid. Like, I paid retail. I didn't get them wholesale. I paid retail. That's how much I got them for. You paid more? Or maybe you paid way less and I got ripped off. I don't know. But there's a very similar fish that's more common. If you can't find that, you'd have to watch the video. I'm drawing a blank on the name. Mitchell Broom says, if you have not seen Corridoras napioenses, they're kind of smaller version of Corridoras elegans. Yeah, and then the last stream, last hour, we talked about, or I said how they're kind of similar to, I already forgot. Oh my gosh, my mind's already gone blank. We're only like 5 minutes into the stream. Nanis? Is that the one I said? Corridoras Nanis? Corridoras Nanis, yeah. So similar to the Corridoras Nanis, except the Napioensis has the bronze streak down its spine, and the Nanis does not. And then the Nanis, I believe, has more horizontal stripes on the body, whereas the Napioensis has the 2 white and the 1 black stripe. If I remember correctly. I know it definitely doesn't have the bronze, though, and I really like that bronze on the Napioensis. It really makes them stand out. Bob, I love the fact that you pronounce Corridoras astropersonatus as Corridoras astropersonatus with an S. I can't stop myself from doing the same thing. That's the one I'm talking about. Astropersonatus, right? I didn't even get the letter. I said it started with an L. I was way off. Let me. I look at so many Corridoras. Yeah, the fairy Corri. Yeah. So Corridoras astropersonatus. Are you not supposed to pronounce the S? I just call it like I see it. I realize I'm wrong most of the time. The secret is to just be confident about it, and then people will think that you're pronouncing it right. So if you can't find the sea tree, the Atropersonatus is a good substitute. And it is way more common, too. I'm not going to say it's a common one. It's just more common. What was the other one? The Lortoensis. The Corridoras Lortoensis was the first one in the video. Atro. Oh, do I say Astro? That's really bad then. I'm just adding letters at that point then. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I went up a couple octaves there, but I got mine from Dan Wildcott. So, oh, yeah. I don't remember ever seeing those on his website. Is this like, am I going through puberty? I don't know what's going on, but wow. Sea tree. Astro. Astro Personatus. Oh, the GG64. Yeah. I do remember seeing those ones. So he didn't actually have them as... Oh, probably Corridor Sea Tree. Okay, I do remember that one. Those most definitely look like Sea Tree to me. A little lighter color. Like mine, the bodies are more gray, I feel. Maybe, I don't know. Jessica Bryant, hello. My 2 new big common plecos are chewing my Anubias. That doesn't surprise me. They aren't underweight and fed well. Are they actually hungry for more food or just jerks? So plecos in general just like rasping on stuff, whether they're eating or not. It's just something they like to do. So maybe, I don't know what kind of hardscape you got in there, but maybe give them some wood, some more wood, different varieties of wood, so they can just have something to rasp on. I doubt they're actually eating your Nubius, or maybe there's like just small amounts of algae on your Nubius maybe that they're trying to go after. But chances are they just like rasping. Throw some cucumbers in there, things like that. And hopefully it'll get them to step away from the Anubias. That's pretty weird though. UPSer just for giggles. All right. Ginger Gumble with the $5 super chat says, please hit the like. I agree. Please hit the like. There's a CFC Atro Personatus Corridors available about a year ago in the U.S. from Moricha, which has more spotting on the face than the normal variety. Nice looking fish. Hoon Aquatics, good to see you, buddy. I really hope your CW111s are doing well. I'm going to give Hoon Aquatics a quick shout out here. If you guys are on Instagram, look up Hoon Aquatics, and you're going to see a lot of really rare, nice-looking fish. So if that's your jam, go check them out on Instagram. Lots of cool fish. Hoping to do a fish room tour here in the near future as well, which will be really cool. Really excited. Leo209 Aquatics with a $5 super chat says, from the list you put out of the not-so-common corridors, which would you say is the main one you would get if it was available? Honestly, I've always been a sucker for Lortoensis. It's always been my favorite Corridora. One of my favorite Corridoras. I think that one... I mean, the Napioensis is nice. I've just always loved the Lortoensis, and I really don't see them that often. Like, they're a smaller Cory, good for 10 gallons, 20 longs, and you just don't see them very often. So, I don't know. I'm a little biased, but it's going to be the Lortoensis. Bare Bottoms Aquatic says, got me some LRB shrimp today for the new shrimp breeding operation, reds and blues. Awesome. I almost got enough. I've almost got enough to put some shrimp on my website. I'm going to let them maybe breed or just drop 1 or 2 more clutches, and then I should have some shrimp on the website. Xanadudu says, Hoodin is awesome. So many cool fish. Yeah, like super rare cool fish, which is really cool. Planted Goldie says, what centerpiece fish for a 40 breeder planted with 12 rosy barbs would you put in? So, honestly, I would probably find some either like a group of gouramis or like one gourami would be what I would do. You already got like a good group of fish in there, and honestly, like 12 rosy barbs seems like a great option for a centerpiece type fish. I'm not really a centerpiece type of fish person. Like, I want one fish in this tank that's going to stand out. Not really my style. I'd rather have like 20 fish schooling around than like one fish just hanging out. So I generally don't have the best suggestions for centerpiece fish, but I try. Carlos says, what would be a good food I can buy in bulk for my fish? I have Corys, Plecos, Endlers, White Clouds. Regular food is getting too expensive. You could start like researching your own food. I think the problem with bulk food is you're usually sacrificing quality for bulk. So it's really up to you. I mean, like your Plecos, I mean, you could be, I don't know what kind of Plecos you have, but cucumbers are cheap. Green beans are cheap. Canned green beans are cheap. I would wager that all of those fish would chew on and eat canned green beans. I feed canned green beans to all my fish. My rainbows eat them. My Corys, they pick at them. All my Plecos, they rasp on them. Really, everything just picks at them all day long. They don't They don't break down really fast too, which is another advantage. So I don't know. A can of French cut green beans, last time I bought them was like 99 cents. So it's pretty cheap. But as far as like good bulk food, I don't know, it's kind of an oxymoron in my opinion. Like, sure, you could buy like a 5-gallon bucket of Extreme, but most of us are looking for bulk because it's cheaper and we're on a budget. So if I was to buy in bulk right now, I would probably go to like eBay, and there's lots of different people selling bulk foods on eBay. I would just order smaller bags of it and test it out and find one that your fish likes, and then maybe go that route, and then buy it in bulk. Zen Ginger says, planted goldies. Not exactly a centerpiece fish, but I have a group of peacock gudgeons with my barbs, and it's such a fun tank. There you go. Bob, ordering the oyster shells that Dan said to make with Repashy. What Repashy should I get? Is this for your puffer? I believe your puffer. If it is for your puffer, I would probably go like Spawn and Grow, because it is, it's a growing fish. So Spawn and Grow usually has lots of protein, a good amount of fat. So I'd probably go that route. L Fish Tank says, many thanks for your content. Got me a colony of 10 stir-by. Awesome. My all-time favorite. Would not have done it without your inspiration on the topic. 6 days in and no losses. Yeah, stir-bys will always be my favorite. I don't care if I eventually ever get Vulcan Cories, which is like a bucket list Cory. They're like $200 a piece. Stir-bys will always be my favorite. Always. Matt West says, I really like Dan's Loach short. You're like the second person that has mentioned that. What's my favorite type of biofilter? Just sponge. Sponge will always be my favorite biological filtration. Mandy, you saw the checkered barbs Dan put a short on. Everyone's loving your shorts, I guess. That was interesting. Just placed an order a bit ago and it did get the Spawn and Grow. Oh, I don't know why I read it like that, but just placed a order a bit ago and did a get Spawn and Grow. All right. Anyways, Ken's Fish is a good supplier of bulk food, but it's not really a lot of general food for all species. It's more specific to kinds of fish. I used to do Ken's Fish in bulk, but I found, like, even if I froze it, it didn't seem to hold up very well over time. So I kind of went away with it, but that was one that I used to do a lot, probably like 4 or 5 years ago. And there's like lots of variety too, which is nice. I mean, as long as you're going through it good enough or, fast enough, I wouldn't, I can't say anything bad about it. I prefer small Cories like pandas or habrosis. Well, even that's like a pretty big. Abroses are way smaller than pandas, but I like smaller Cories too, which is one of the reasons I like the Lortoens is that they're a smaller species. Rocky Miles says, Mitchell Broom, I went to Ken's Fish about a month ago. I could have spent hours there. Great deals, big selection. Isn't he on the East Coast? I don't remember. Mitchell Broom says, Ken's Fish earthworm sticks are awesome for corridoras. So this is like the bulk food that like I'm talking about that you can find on like eBay. I'm pretty sure it all comes from the same place. So it's just it's basically wherever gives you the best price. But yeah, earthworms, like when I was doing red wigglers, oh my gosh, my catfish, all of them went crazy for red wigglers. What's my favorite schooling fish? Probably rainbows. I will say they're not the best schooling fish, but probably my favorite schooling fish. And actually, speaking of schooling fish, you know what time it is. I'm going to pull this up. We are going to the fish of the week, and I get so many questions about this fish. He actually had these in stock last Monday, and by the time my stream started, they were already sold out, so they couldn't be my fish of the week last week. But they're back in stock. I'm going to pull them up here for you. Here we go. The Blackline Tail Tetra. All right, here you go. $6.99. This is an amazing price for this Tetra. When I brought them in and bought them for myself personally, they were about double that. No, a little less. They were $12 for me. So $6.99. That's a really good price. And this right here is one of the best schooling fish out there that I have ever kept. Now, I will say, you can't buy 6 of these and expect them to be the best schooling fish ever. You can't buy 6 of anything and expect them to be a good schooling fish. Will they school? Yes. I have 46 of these in a 40-gallon breeder, and it's hands down the funnest thing I have ever seen when it comes to schooling fish. And their schooling is very, very specific. If you were to put like a piece of hardscape like right in the middle of your tank, they will school around that all day. Well, not all day. I mean, they're going to take a break, but literally. Or if you have like a plant, like I had pothos like strung across my aquarium, and they literally just did circles around the pothos for hours, and it's just crazy. They just look like a wheel going around and around and around and around, and they just go and go and go. Really cool. If you don't have anything for them to school around, or like do that type of behavior, like this microphone, they'll just do this all day long if they were like right here. If you don't, then they'll do the normal schooling behavior back and forth, but it's like they don't stop. I can almost every time I look over to my tank, I can see them schooling. So I highly recommend them. You're gonna want a good group of them though. Thankfully they're only $7. I get it, shipping's not cheap when you buy a lot of fish, but there's not much I can do about that. Shipping rates. Everything's going up. But that's the fish of the week, the black line tetra, or the Coste tetra. Highly recommend them if you're looking for a group of schooling fish. You will not be disappointed. Won't be on your soul. Was that a local thing or a national thing? I don't know. I won't be on your soul. I won't be undersold. I don't remember. That was like a furniture store or something from like the 80s. I guess I got 7 more from Dan's. Oh, Sage. Yes, Sage, I was talking about you in the last stream, in the last hour. I was like, I sold some at the at Fishtoberfest, but they only got like 5 or 6, and definitely need more. I'm glad you got more, and I hope there's schooling for you now. We need a fish of the week. Member sticker. Like, you want me to change the sticker every week to whatever the fish of the week is? Whew. I mean, it takes me like a year to change one sticker. You want me to do it every week? That's asking a lot. That is... a well-kept school in neon tetras is cool, though. Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Like, all tetras school really well. But these are probably... So they not only school, but they're really tight and compact. So it's like it's a really tight school. They're like right. I mean, they're basically like rubbing elbows while they school. Which a lot of tetras they'll school, but they're like maybe like an inch apart from each other, and it's still cool. These are just, if you don't see it, I'd pull it up on my phone, but I got a new phone and it sucks. So it would take me like 10 hours to find a video of it. Actually, maybe I have it on my Instagram. And it's not the best video because at the time they were in my 10-gallon quarantine tank. Let's see. Did I post a video on Instagram? I feel like I did. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh no, don't copyright strike me. Again, very low quality, and they're only in a 10-gallon tank, but like you can see, they're just schooling around that leaf. Like, that's all they're doing. And they'll do this with anything. If I had that sponge filter in the middle, they'd be doing that in the middle. So it's really wild. Like, I've obviously kept a lot of tetras, a lot of schooling fish, and they just go back and forth. I've never kept anything that like picks an object and just like surrounds it like that. It's pretty crazy. And I'm sure there's other fish that do it. I've just never seen it. Can you believe my FX6 motor crashed? It's only 2 years old. I believe it. Don't want to buy a replacement motor, but dang, it really keeps the 110 crystal clear. Amissa Hello says, hey Bob, hi all, late and lurking, but hope everyone is well. Legion says, I want some now. I'm telling you. Now, I just realized there's a big difference between having 50 of one fish and even having like a dozen. So I don't know what the magic number is to get them to do that, but I know with any fish, the more you have, the better they're going to school. How do you breed angelfish? So I've never bred angelfish. I've never really been interested in breeding angelfish, but generally, you get your male and female, put them in like a 20-gallon tank, feed them up nice and fat, and then they're going to want something to spawn their eggs on, so you can get like a piece of like flat slate and just lean it against the glass. They'll spawn on heaters. They'll spawn on sponge filters. But if you actually get like a piece of slate, they'll lay their eggs. You can let them spawn in the tank, and the parents will try to take care of them. It might take a couple spawns for them to realize they're not food, but eventually they'll figure out. Or if they spawn on that piece of slate, you can just take that slate out and put them in a separate aquarium and let them hatch out and grow out that way. Generally, you want to raise the temperature a little bit into like 80, 82, into that range. Kind of simulate, hey, it's spring, it's warm. You might get them to spawn that way too. Brandon Guy says, a couple years ago I became really anti all things Hagen. That included Fluval and Exoterra. Yeah, Exoterra's really gone downhill. But Zoomed's not much better, unfortunately. I'll never forget my Zoomed screen terrarium that I bought. And they label all the pieces, right? So it just comes in a flat box and you got to put it all together. And they have like, this is piece A, this is piece B. They literally didn't put the right stickers on the right pieces. Like you look at the piece in the manual and it's like a 4-foot by 2-foot section. That's piece A. I go to my kit and piece A is like a 6-inch by 2-foot section. It's just like, really? Angelfish are so easy to breed. It's true. It's true. It's not really that difficult. If the harder part about angelfish is getting a pair. So most people will buy like 6 and wait for a pair to pair off. What are the parameters of wild-caught punctatus nane, Corey? Are you punctatus or nane, I assume? I ordered the common punctatus, but the guy gave me those ones. So my question would be, are they wild-caught or are they captive bred? And then my other question would be like, I have no idea. Like my next question is not a question. It's just, I have no idea. I will say that most Corys will do just fine in 7.0 pH, 75, 76 degree water. In the wild, water parameters change all year long. There's been Corys, multiple species of Corys have been collected down into like 50, 60 degree water. But I haven't met a Cory that will do bad in standard water parameters. The second hardest part about breeding angel is finding enough tank space for the 500 babies to grow up. Yeah, and I would say the third hardest part is finding someone to buy the 500 babies. I can't tell you how many times I've been to an LFS and they have angelfish fry on special for $1, and they've got just tanks full of them. And honestly, this is why I never got into breeding angelfish, because it's just like, what am I going to sell this to the LFS for like 10 cents? There's no shortage of angelfish. It'd be one of those things that's like, it's fun to do once, but after that, like, I don't want to be mass producing them because everybody is mass producing them. We bring in wild Corys and they spawn for us. Our water is basically brackish without the salt. Yeah, I mean, Corridoras are very forgiving. Very forgiving. There's species of Corridoras that come from tributaries that go into the ocean, so they are definitely getting a little bit of salt. What's up, fish people? Danikin Aquatics, hello again. Zoomed products are mediocre for the most part, to be honest. Their T5HO UVB bulbs do put out a lot of UVB, but even then, I've heard they don't last as long as Arcadia. Yeah. Everybody likes to hype up Arcadia. I've never used them, so I don't know if they're worth the hype. And honestly, when it comes to like UVA and UVB, like, I'm very skeptical that they need as much as people say they do. Because I'm telling you, like back in the 90s when people didn't know anything, like I was breeding reptiles with no UVA, no UVB. They were doing just fine, getting just off of ambient lighting and like heat lamps. Like, I don't know, the whole UVA, UVB thing. I get it. Sure, it's important, but how much do they really need? I don't know. I feel like it's over exaggerated. My angels have spawned every 14 days since October, and I haven't been able to get any fry yet. Are they just getting eaten, or what's going on? Please, at least a 29-gallon tank for angels. They are not small fish. There's a market for high-end. Yeah, so when I say 20, I'm talking like specific, like you're putting them in there specifically to spawn. Like that's it. Like discus breeders, right? They're putting them in 20-gallon tanks specifically to spawn. I would never keep a pair of angelfish in a 20-gallon long term. That's a terrible idea. That's not going to be fun for those fish at all. So specifically for breeding, that's what I'm talking about. A good breeding project to try that can leave parents with the fry. So this, I mean, live bears would be one. There's a lot that you could do. The question is, do you have an environment for the fry to thrive and be safe? So lots of moss, lots of floating plants, lots of, we want the floating plants with lots of roots. Stargrass is a really good one. Guppy grass. Really, if you have like dense enough plants, you can community spawn a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. You're not going to get the best hatch rates or survival rates, but you can spawn a lot of fish. The eggs fungus every time. Do you take? I don't know. Are you leaving the eggs in? It sounds like you need to take them out. What is my top 5 plants for beginners? That's an excellent question. Any Anubias is going to be number 1. I mean, it just doesn't get much easier than an Anubias. There's some things to look out for, like Anubias rot and things like that. But for the most part, Anubias, don't bury the rhizome. Don't ever bury the rhizome. You can bury the roots, but don't bury the rhizome. So definitely Anubias. Bacopa, if you're looking for a stem plant, is really easy. Cryptwindetii, another really easy plant to grow. Jungle Val, depending on your water parameters, I would say Jungle Val. Pogostemon stellatus octopus. I don't think I've met anyone who can't grow that plant. It's crazy. I actually have a video on that one, a dedicated video on Pogostemon stellatus octopus because it's that amazing of a plant. Super easy, grows like weeds. It's just, I don't know. Can you say anything bad about Pogo? I mean, I guess you could say something bad is that it grows too much. Like I have to trim this plant too much. Was that 5? I don't know. Wisteria, water wisteria. Well, if you float wisteria, I would say it's pretty easy. Hornwort, yeah, hornwort's another easy one. So many easy plants. So you can put methylene blue where you are. If not, you could probably use peroxide or something. Yeah, Kambamba. I think Kambamba is illegal in my state. I might be wrong, but I think so. What size tank for a school of Corridorus species of McElroy? Were you one of the people that fell for that? Happy Monday, nerds. Happy Monday, fish nerds. Italian Val is great for beginners. Yeah, so I'm kind of weary on the Val, because it can take a while for it to acclimate. That's my only problem with Val. Like once it acclimates, it'll grow crazy. I've had Val that I got from one of my members here when I built this fish room last summer, and it's been like this big. It hasn't grown. It hasn't died off. And then I was in the fish room yesterday and it was all the way to the top of my 125. It had sent runners that are now all the way up on my 125. So I'm like 7-8 months now it took, and now it's just exploding everywhere. And of course now I'm taking that tank down, but it's crazy. I walked in my fish room and I was like, I was so confused. Like I just had to, it was one of the things where I just stood there and stared at my tank like something's different. It certainly can't be these plants because, like, they can't grow that fast. But it was the plants. What's the best community fish for beginners? I mean, I would argue that all community fish are good for beginners. I mean, correct. Bomba is illegal in Washington. Bracken, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. I don't know. It kind of depends. I mean, my mind goes to like guppies just because if you're a beginner, you get guppies, you get fry. It's kind of, you know, anytime your fish spawn as a beginner, you're like just blown out of the water. You're like, oh, that's so cool. Look at the fry. So my mind goes to guppies, but I'm not much of a guppy person. So, best community. I mean, there's, you know, we were talking about cherry barbs earlier. Really hardy fish. There's so many hardy fish. Lady Roar Chach. Hey there, Bob. I would love to have a peaceful community fish in my 10-gallon Pygmy Corridors breeding tank. Any suggestions? Something preferably that will not go after the eggs or fry. Why not? Some clown killies would be cool. Norman's lamp-eye killifish, super underrated fish. I think that would be really cool. Dwarf hatchetfish, maybe. They can be kind of hard to find, but dwarf hatchetfish. Maybe like I want to go like rasbora, like chili rasboras are really nice. I mean, there's so many like nano rasboras that would be really cool. Ember tetras, yeah, ember tetras would be a good one. Oh, the only good thing I have from Exoterra is a cave I actually use for small plecos. That's kind of funny. Oh, man. Black neons get no love. That is true. They definitely don't. And I love black neons. Like, I've done videos on them a couple times. And even I'm still, like, always forget about them. Liv, how you doing? Says, my Paleotis corridors were so good for me when I was a beginner. Yeah, Paleotis corridors, definitely a good beginner one. Rice fish, if you can find them, so great. Both cold water fish. Cold-ish. Definitely. Oh, yes, the Phoenix rasboras are tiny, tiny and will not eat shrimp or cory eggs. Yes, the Phoenix rasbora is a really good one, too. Dwarf hatchetfish, yeah, so just know, anytime you do hatchetfish, you definitely want to top. Like, don't put them in an open top aquarium because you will lose them all. Just a matter of time. Enjoyed your short video on 5 cories. Unusual and not expensive. FYI, I have a large group of C corridors napioensis, and they get big. My females are close to 2.7 to 3 inches, and males. That's really interesting. I haven't seen, like, I've done some pretty extensive research on them, and I've never seen any reports of them getting that large. Interesting. Now you got the wheels turning in my head. Really, 3 inches. So the largest I saw, I did see one site. Of course, you never really know with these websites. Had them at 2.5 inches at the largest. 3 inches though. I guess I got more research to be doing. If rice fish were more common, they'd be great for beginners. So easy, and also more common and a little bit less expensive. Some of the rice fish are still kind of spendy. John Oliver's Guppies and Aquatics. What's going on, buddy? We were talking about you last stream. Hey, fish family. As always, I hope everyone is doing well and staying healthy. Good to see you, Bob. Good to see you, John. I appreciate you stopping by. What's the largest species of cichlid? Is it the emperor cichlid or is it the oh my gosh, the emperor cichlid, or is the emperor cichlid the second largest? Oh my gosh, it's that huge one. It's the huge one in South America. Someone will say it's very common, and it shouldn't be, just because of how big it is. The peacock bass, right? Peacock bass cichlid, is that it? Is that the largest one? It's either the emperor cichlid or the peacock bass cichlid. One of those two, I think, are the largest. In one of Corey's live streams, he said that Cyprichromis can go in a community tank. Does he mean a Tanganyikan community with hard water or a general community tank? So you can absolutely do Cyprichromis in a general community tank. However, it's not something I would recommend for the beginner. So I got my Cyprichromis breeding in Seattle water, right? But it took a long time, a very long time. So again, not something that I would recommend. Like, you don't want to take Cyprichromis and just throw them in like Seattle, basically RO water, right? Really like that was like a 2-year project when I say a long time. Can you keep them in a community aquarium that has hard water and high pH? Yes, absolutely. 100%. Can you keep them in a Lake Tanganyikan biotope community aquarium? Yes. Fish Tank Barn with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. Says Corridora's Fund. I appreciate it. That's basically one Corridora's Napioensis right there to add to my school. I hope you guys are talking about me. I hope you guys were talking good about me. Always, buddy. Always, buddy. We're actually talking about your Facebook group. And, well, I guess this is kind of subjective, but you have one toxic guy in your Facebook group, and I was like, I can't believe he hasn't been kicked out yet. And maybe he has been, but that was it. Always, about you specifically, John. I mean, you're like the nicest guy in the world, so of course it's always going to be positive. Is it a good idea to keep 2 or 3 ancestris for the same species? It's not necessary. You can definitely keep one in a tank. What about Florida flagfish for a beginner fish? Easy to breed, cold water tolerant, and colorful in a... So I don't know that I would go flagfish for beginner because they can be nippy at times. I'm not saying they're a nippy fish at all, but they can be. So just something to be aware of. Brandon guy with the $5. Get 2 to add to your school. All right. 2. Oh, you know who that reminds me of? 2 schoolie for coolie, or 2 coolie for schoolie. I feel like I haven't seen that dude in a while. I don't know if it's a guy or girl. Amazon Research Center for Ornamental Fishes. What's going on, Doc? Good to see you. Oh man. I'm telling you, if airline prices didn't skyrocket, I'd be right down in there in Peru with you. Got to make it down there. What do we got? Peacock bass as the largest. Tom Tanks, what's going on, buddy? That's right. I know. I've heard emperor cichlid is larger, but peacock bass get way huge. Yeah. So I guess it's like, are we going by inches? Are we going by pounds? 2 coolie for schoolie. That's right. Because emperor cichlids are big. And I could have swore there's a documentary of Lake Tanganyika, and it says that Lake Tanganyika has the largest cichlid in the world and the smallest cichlid in the world. But I guess it just depends on, are we talking length? Are we talking pounds, kilograms? I don't know. Bula gungogromis microlepis is just barely larger than the peacock bass, although the bass might weigh more. Talk about a scientific name. I don't even want to try to pronounce that again. That's oh man. Leslie says, Bob's ignoring me. Do any of you have Denison barbs, and are they bullies? I have 8 ready to come out of quarantine, going with silver dollars and EBAs. No, they are not bullies at all, Leslie. And of course, I miss all your chats, and then the one where you call me out, that's the one I see. Leslie, they are perfectly fine. You'll have no issues whatsoever. Leo with the $5 super chat says, tempted in getting a wild betta pair mouth brooder. Use this for another Corridoras. Tempted tempted. Tempted? Tempted in getting wild betta. I mean, it could be fun. It could be fun. I don't want to go down the wild betta rat hole. I feel like if I get a wild betta, like a month later, I would have like 10 species of wild bettas. I can't do it. Zen Ginger says, my denizens are the most spastic little schoolers, but not aggressive in the slightest. Nope. Do I have any experience with flagtail cories? So you'll have to give me a scientific name, because I call any cory with a flagtail cory. I'm pretty sure there is a specific like species where that is the common name, but you know, I'm kind of a rebel. Let's look. Flagtail Corridoras. Corridors Robinae. I actually do have this. I have 8 of them. So anytime I come across a Corridora that has like the black vertical stripes, I'm like flagtail. Flagtail. Even though I guess the Robinae are horizontal. But anyways, any black stripes on the tail to me is a flag. I call it a flagtail. Because, I don't know, it looks like a flag. Corridoras. Okay, well now that's a different one. That's a different one. Let me look. I don't have this one. But see, it has the vertical black stripes, so I would call it a flagtail. Oh, the flagtail panda cory. That's the CW52, right? Let's take a look. I think I have actually kept this fish before. If it is the 52 or 62, I don't remember. I think these are on Dan's website. CW62. Nope. Is it 52? CW52. Oh my gosh. Nope. Okay, I was wrong. Is it CW49? I don't know. I'm just guessing right now. I know I've kept it. It's like the super panda. Yes, they are. Okay, they are on Dan's Fish, but he doesn't have the C number either. Mr. Broom has probably already said it in the chat. I would have to get the CW number or the C number to know if I have kept it before. How many cichlids can you keep in a 55-gallon tank? It depends on the type of cichlid, right? The world's smallest cichlid is like an inch, and the world's tallest cichlid is like 100 pounds. So I'm exaggerating, but cichlids are the most diverse group of fish in the world. There's more cichlids than any other type of fish. So that's a pretty general question. Bob, what do you feed newly free-swimming Corridoras? I have spawned my stir-bys a few times, and the babies die a few days after spawning. So I have yet to try to raise up any fry. I've gotten spawning, but I'm not in a position to actually raise up fry yet. Hopefully, you know, the goal is March. But you probably want to start hatching brine shrimp. Or you could try like rapashi, but just the powder form. If you don't want to do live food, just put the powder of rapashi in the tank, and you know they might go after it. Golden pearls might be another option, like the 5 to 50 or the 5 to 100 micron golden pearls. Again, if you don't want to do live food. Groupers in the ocean seem like they should be cichlids to me. They look like gargantuan bass or something. They just look weird. They just look weird. I was thinking of doing some Africans in a 60-gallon, but I think I'm going to go with community Tetra tank. Got enough ember fry to get a good start. I mean, honestly, I think it'd be cool either way. I love African cichlids, and I love Tetras. Either way sounds good to me. That's all personal preference. Search Panda and they'll show up. So I got them. I got them, but there's no C or CW number on the website there. Johnny. So we got the longfin pandas, panda, flagtail. I don't think I've kept these. There's like a super, it's called like a super panda cory that I think is like a CW 52 or 49. It might be 49. Let me search 49. It all just kind of blends together. It's all mush in my brain. Yeah. I hit the button. Yeah. I'm back. No, that's the black diamond. Oh, this is gonna bug me. I had these years and years ago. No, not that one. Definitely not that one. Oh, I just got some CW62. That's why I'm thinking of that. Grant Cooks with the $5 super chat says recently moved out at parents, couldn't grow 98% of plants bought, very hard water, high pH. New house plants are great. Haven't even tried to help them. Ideas. Well, what's the parameters of? I mean, clearly, whatever plants you have like your current water more. But do you have the parameters of your current house? Mitchell Broom says, for most corridoras, live baby brine shrimp are a good starter. There are a few that start out too small for baby brine, so you can do golden pearls. Yeah, when I'm breeding, like I love... Oh, CW51. I was way off. CW51 is like the super panda. I love golden pearls. It's one of my favorite dry foods for fry of any. That's when I had rainbow spawn. Like I wouldn't collect the eggs, but if there was any fry that made it, they got golden pearls. That's what they got. Top 5 favorite species of molly. The only molly I like is the I don't even know what the name of it is, but it's the dwarf red molly. Corey has some in a tank, and I do like those, but generally, I'm not really a molly guy. Another good beginner fish is Priscilla tetras. They only need a top as the hatchet fish. I mean, there's so many good tetras. Lemon tetras, serpe tetras, candy cane. I mean, tetras in general are just a good beginner fish. Just finished Kenny Schindler. Man, I haven't seen you in like 10 years. Where you been? Just finished transferring 8 albino cories out of my 125, and my frustration level just about went through the roof trying to remove every bit of decor. You got to do it at night, man. If you're gonna move cories, just do it at night with the lights are off, and while they're kind of in sleep mode. Oh, this sounds like it might be interesting. Regina Falandi says, I'm so grossed out right now. My dogs were rolling in something in my backyard. Took a look. It's a dead, slimy frog. Have fun. That sounds disgusting. Paul says, Bob, I've never done a special fry food for cories. They've basically eaten whatever the parents chow on. Yeah, I mean, being that they're more of scavenger fishes, like, I don't think you really need to worry about it. Autos versus cories, well, it depends. Like, there's like 6 species of cories in the hobby, and there's 70, 80 species of cories in the hobby. I'm going to pick cories just by the numbers. I don't even know. Like, there's roughly 100, I think there's close to 180 documented species of cories. I mean, how many autos are there? Like 6. But if you say, hey, I've got algae in my tank, should I do autos and cories? Then autos are going to win out every time. Replay crew. Oh, ex-Cali Kev. Are you not Cali Kev anymore? You're ex-Cali Kev? Are you somewhere else? Now you're Montana Kev? I don't know. Replay crew. Oh, wait. Why are all the lights on? I'm not supposed to be here yet. Yeah, you are the replay crew. Zen Ginger says, corridors over autos all day, every day. I don't know that I feel too comfortable saying day. All day, every day. Just letting it do its thing. Change water every couple or 4 weeks. Old house tested like 8 pH. I mean, you could just have more minerals in your water. You know, it could be, I don't know. Without knowing the water parameters, that's what would be my guess, is that you just have, more minerals in your water. But it also comes down to the plants. Like plants should be thought of just like fish, right? You research a fish. What water parameter does it like? You should do the same thing with plants. because there's plants that like hard water, like Pogostemum helferi, and there's plants that like soft water. There's plants that can go in both. So really, if you really want to be successful with plants, treat them like fish. Do the research on the plants too. It's all out there. There's lots of good resources. Have you kept LDA 25 Pitbull Plecos? They're like a mix between autos and Corys. They've been pretty fun. The closest thing to that, I would say, I haven't, but the closest thing to that, I would say, is like a rubber lip. It's kind of similar. I have to bathe the dogs too. Probably my job tomorrow after water changes. My dog would dive into the slightest... Wait. My dog would dive into the slightest whiff of a dead thing. Ugh. My dogs will definitely, like, search out dead things, but so far, thankfully, they haven't rolled in. There's a lot of dead things around here from time to time, right? I'm pretty much out in the wild. Well, that wasn't very good. My dogs love trolling through like the thickest of brush. It's really bizarre. I don't know if your dogs are like that, but my dogs, like, they'll go in and they'll just go head first right into like the thickest of the thickest brush and grass. They'll come out with stuff all over them, and I'm just like, why do you do that? Like, and they go in there and they can barely move around, which is, it's like, what is so fun about that to my dogs? I don't know. My last dog did that too. I don't know. Is that a dog thing? It's kind of weird. Lewis says still, but I still preferring autos and small plecos than Corys. Both sides are good. Yeah, and I don't think it has to be a one or the other, does it? We can make it. Check this out. We're gonna make it a one or the other. Here we go. Wait. How can I do this? Here we go. This'll work. Boom. Engage with your audience, it says. There we go. Plecos or Corys? I could have put autos on there too, but autos are plecos, so if your answer is auto, pick plecos. Ben, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. One of my beagles found a fish that had jumped. Fortunately, he didn't eat it. That's I always wonder, like, how many fish have my dogs eaten over the years? Because they've had to have eaten at least one. You can't have this many tanks and not have fish jump out. But at the same time, it's like, I don't see them. It's had to have happened. And when you have like a school of like 50, like, I have no idea if one of my 50 Coste tetras jumped out. I'm not going to sit here and count them every day. But if it had jumped out and was sitting on the floor, yeah, my dog probably would have eaten it. I don't know. I wonder. My dogs love rolling in possum and raccoon poop. It's pretty awesome. Oof. I would lose my mind if my dogs were into that kind of stuff. No thanks. Best story of my old pity. He found a rotting deer and just fully dive rolled into it. Slimy and so gross. And you were pregnant. Yikes. Wow. Yeah, I kind of knew Corys would end this or would win this poll. I kind of thought it would be pretty one-sided too. A lot of people either love plecos or hate plecos, whereas a lot of people love pleco or Corys, but you rarely see someone that's like, I don't like Corridoras, right? But you always see someone like, I don't like plecos. They never come out. You never see them, and they're such a waste of money. You don't hear that kind of talk with Corys, so I figured this would be a little one-sided. Mitchell Broom says, if Corys versus plecos, Corys all the way, but if it's Corys versus autos, autos are not so bad, but at least you can see more than a tail most of the time. Yeah, and again, like I said, there's like six species of autos in the hobby. Like, I can go to Petco and buy more than 6 species of Corys. Not that I would recommend that, but... Lady says, I love them both, but I have to favor my Corridor's children over my bristlenose Pleco children. My chocolate Pleco James has been a bit of a witch with a B. Collins Critter K with the $1 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Zen Ginger says, yeah, I don't take my dogs to the beach anymore. Dead fish are just so attractive as a rolling patch. I will say, I do have one spot that's just dirt. Can't wait till spring gets here so my grass will grow. And it's probably maybe like a 6-foot radius. And my Mastiff just loves to run over and just lay down in it. He doesn't roll around in it, but he'll if he's running, he'll do like a somersault. He'll put his head down and the momentum will carry him over to do a running salt, and he'll flop right down in the dirt and he'll just lay there. It's really weird. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's really comfortable to him. Maybe he likes the smell. I don't know. I'm just glad he doesn't roll around in it. Boo, Plecos rule and Corey's drool. I love them both, but if I was like, you can only keep one, it's going to be Corridors. Do I think guppies with bent backs and guppies with wasting disease has the same or similar root cause? I think it's certainly possible. I would think like bent backs is more genetics, but I think poor water quality can lead to bad genetics. So I think it is definitely possible that they could be the same. I don't think in every case it's going to be the same, but hard to choose when it's your two favorites. Yeah. What's your favorite string gauge to play on the guitar? String gauge. I think you're going to have to give me a little bit more time to practice to answer that question. My common pleco is one of my favorite fish ever, but a zebra pleco is my bucket list fish. Wow, common pleco, huh? I don't think I've ever heard that ever. In 6 years of live streaming and decades in the hobby, I don't think I've ever seen someone say common pleco is one of my favorite fish. All right, I like it. I mean, I'm not a fan of common plecos, but I like to see that they're someone's favorite. After a bath, that's when the dogs find the stinkiest things to roll in. That's so true. Chillin', Keegan, Jimmy, what's going on? Jimmy Gimbal, Swisky. What's up, buddy? I saw you in the live stream on Thursday. Looks like you're having some fun over there. Wish I could have joined you. Fathead minnows are better than Cory catfish and plecos, but I'll choose Cory catfish out of those two choices. Wow, that's a pretty strong statement. So you're saying that one fish, one fathead minnow, one species of fish is better than the myriads of Corys and plecos. You really love fathead minnows, my friend. You really do. Wish you were there. Did you guys play darts at all? John was telling me about his new dartboard. Wondering if you guys played darts at all. Lewis says, I love plecos too, but they need huge tanks. That's not true at all. Something I can't still provide. So, large fish require large tanks. Small fish can go in small tanks. And there are lots of species of plecos that are like 3 inches. So, keep that in mind. If you want a pleco in a 20-gallon tank, there's lots of species that you can do it. Nope, no darts. Didn't see no dartboard. Ah, so he's full of it. Is he lurking? KG Tropicals is not lurking. What's Lisa's channel name? Something cats, right? I'm a jerk for not knowing. What is it? If she didn't change her name, I would know it. Zenny, what's Lisa's channel name? Something to do with cats. I want to know if she's lurking. I used an old fish net and picked up the slimy frog. At least I was able to stop my dog's gross party. Oof. Jimmy says, yeah, John's full of himself for sure. Shots fired. Oh, yeah, plants and whiskers. Oh, nope. Oh, roots and whiskers. Okay. Nope, neither of them are lurking. See if I ever go to one of their streams again. Some fish like guppies and killifish can get bent backs when they get very old. Sure. Like degenerative bone disease. It's probably a thing in fish, I would imagine. Uh-oh. Mindy coming in here saying, has anyone kept Pandagaras? Mindy, you must be new around here because we all love Pandagaras. Absolutely. Actually, right now is one of the few times where I don't have any Pandagaras. Usually, I always have Pandagaras. Very interesting. Mindy, we all love Pandagaras around here. Awesome fish. Highly recommend them. Super peaceful. And they're just one of the funnest fish to watch. So if you have a specific question, we can definitely help you out. If you're on the fence about getting some, all I can say is get some. They're worth it. Unless they're like, earlier someone was selling them for like $23 a piece. They're not worth $20, but absolutely recommend them. My Sabwa, is it Sabwa Resplendens or is it Sabwa Splendens are sparring? Really enjoying these guys. Is it Resplendens? Have I been saying it wrong this whole time? I mean, I'll believe you over my memory, so weird. I've always called them Sabwa Splendens. But there's a lot of Splendens in the hobby, so it wouldn't surprise me if I've been wrong this whole time. Regina Flange says Pandagaras are the best. I agree. Definitely new. Blushing. It's good. We like new people around here. I hope you're having fun. Highly recommend Pandagaras. Highly, highly, highly recommend them. Is my fish room done yet? No. I'm building. I had a little setback. Talked about this a few weeks ago. I know you weren't here. All my 2x4s I had outside covered with 2 tarps. When I went to build my racks, I took the tarps off, and all my 2x4s were just soaked and moldy, and I was really shocked. So I had to restack them. I had to air them out, and now that's this week's project, is building my racks. Any advice, comments on green fungal disease in shrimp? I haven't experienced it, so and I'll be honest, I've never even really researched it outside of just people talking about it in videos. So I don't have a lot of experience with that, Colin. Hopefully someone in chat. Oh, geez, man, can't catch a break. I'm telling you, like this weekend, we want to talk about not catch. I'm not going to say what happened, but man, this weekend was brutal. Absolutely brutal. Maybe Bob can take you to his warehouse out in Wyoming sometime. It definitely needs some filming. I need to plan a trip back. Someone else is going out there, and I was hoping to kind of ride along with that person. If that ever comes to fruition. I don't know. Whatever that word is. You all know it. Love this channel and learning a lot. Sort of the nerd with pen and paper in front of me and still a million tabs open on the laptop with new fish you guys talk about. Well, I will use this chance to shout out my website. I've been posting some blogs on my website, very beginner blogs. So if you are a beginner, it's just steenfottaquatics.com, just my channel name. There's only a couple. I just started a couple weeks ago, but I've been uploading like 3-4 blogs a week. And like I said, they're definitely geared towards beginners. So, like 90% of the people in this chat probably won't get much out of it. But like I said, we do love beginners. I mean, getting people into the hobby is what we're all about, generally. Regina Flandy says, one of my Pandagaras is always hanging out in an Apisto cave. It's hysterical. I have a Pleco cave in the tank too. It's a full-size 3-year-old cramming itself in a tiny cave. That's very loachy of your Pandagara. I find loaches love to cram themselves into decorations. Sorry to hear about your moist wood. Well, not as sorry as your mom was, buddy. Hate to say it. Do you know if there are quarries in Central America? If there are, I don't know. I don't know any species that are. So if there are, I don't know about them. If there are, I don't know about them. And I also, Mindy, if you're looking for help, I have a pretty good Facebook group that I just restarted as well. Again, just Steenfott Aquatics, and it's pretty well moderated, so there's not much shenanigans going on there. It's all pretty good people there. That a boy, was the response I was looking for. I mean, I feel like your mama jokes have kind of gone to the wayside. Someone's got to bring them back. But something I've learned is that people are really sensitive to your mama jokes now. Which I don't know why. It's just a joke, but a lot of people get angry at that joke now. I knew you wouldn't, but I'm sure at least one person watching or rewatching will get upset about it. Cooking and looking. Hello, everybody. Might be a little late. I'm sorry. Aqua Garden Zen. Good to see you. Nancy B in Tennessee. Hi, Bob and chat friends. Nancy, I got a line on those Napioensis. I didn't know that there were 2 different types of beneficial bacteria until your blog. Just thought it was one talented group. There's actually many species. So yeah, there's the couple groups, but there's also many species. I have to leave. I have university tomorrow. Good night. Have a good night. Have a good day tomorrow at school. Learn a lot. Take notes. Everyone is sensitive these days. Almost. Fresh Prince and now your mama. And don't forget my sweet watch. I mean, come on now. Uh-oh. Why is this still up over here? Close. There we go. All right. A crunchy puffer and loach food. Oh, snails. Yep. Oh, boy. All right. What else we got going on there? I didn't know. Oh, we already got that one. Got that one. That a boy. Please don't forget to answer both entry questions in the Facebook group. Yeah, I will say, I don't know why people aren't answering the questions, but there's 2 questions you have to answer. As soon as you hit join group, it's going to come up with the rules, and it's going to come up with 2 questions. I have to deny so many people every day because they don't answer the questions. And it pops up right in front of you. I don't know how you don't answer them, but it's just like you won't spam and you won't swear or be, you won't be an a-hole. You're basically agreeing not to spam and not to be a jerk. That's all you got to answer. So if you've tried to, apply to join my group or whatever and you got denied, it's probably because you didn't answer the questions. Takes me back to In Living Color. Back to a better time, my friend. A much better time. Don't you be talking about my mama. Well, how about we get off mama's? Because I just got off yours. Bots. No, then a lot of them are bots for sure, but a lot of them are legit people, but I can't make exceptions. You got to follow the rules. I'm just kidding. If it's obvious, like, if I know who you are, like, okay, I'll give you a pass. There's some people that only answer one question. Those are just an automatic decline. Like, you clearly see the questions and you only chose to answer one. That means you're agreeing not to spam, but you're going to be a douche because you're not agreeing to not be a jerk. So, like, what's the name of the Facebook group? It's just Steenfott Aquatics. It's probably going to change, but for now, it's just Steenfott Aquatics. Would it be worth it to buy a pea puffer or 2 to help keep my pond snail population under control? They just keep breeding. Pea puffers, you really want a group of pea puffers. They like being in groups. So I don't know. You could do 1 or 2. There's a lot of people that just keep 1. There's a lot of people that just keep 2. And I used to be one of those people, like, just get 1, you'll be fine. But then when I started selling them and keeping them in groups of 20 or more, like, it became obvious that that's what they prefer. They love being in large groups. I did a little bit more research, and these things hang out in thousands in the wild, like a group of thousands. You can see videos of just thousands of pea puffers hanging out. So definitely the more the merrier when it comes to pea puffers. T-Shot, what's going on? Says, hey, Bob. So my LFS has agreed to pay $8 per orange flash a pisto and $11 for my Hongsloys. I know prices vary, but thoughts on that? I think that's a great price. I think that's fair for you. I think that's fair for the shop. Yep. I think that's good. Good all around. Good deal for both parties. Aquaball says I'm lurking. Rootsin with airs, Lisa. Zen, I know you messaged her. I know it. Do you still have the cat Bob? I still do have a cat named Bob. Yes. Cat Bob is still around. This is there's a cat. There's actually 2 cats that roam my property. And one of them is named Bobbed. One of them is named Bob. The other cat is Gray, so its name is Gray Cat. There's Bob and there's Gray Cat. And they've learned when to run. They know when the dogs are coming out, so they know when to hide. But yes, I do feed them. My pea puffers have gotten lazy. They prefer bloodworms to snails now. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know that pea puffers are a good long-term solution to snails. I would much rather go like dwarf chain loach. Loaches are always going to eat. You could feed loaches bloodworms like twice a day, and they're still going to go and murder all the snails. That's just how loaches are. It's awesome. I'm actually getting 6 dwarf chain loaches this week just to get snails out of my Cory tanks. So I'm going to break them up in groups of 3, be transferring them over through all the tanks that are set up now, because a lot of all my tanks have snails, and when my Cory start laying, I don't want snails in there. Run Bob and Gray Wolf. Oh, Wolf. Run Bob and Gray. I misread that so bad. I couldn't have been any worse. Mandy told Lefty the other day in chat that you are Lisa's favorite, and he said it's him. Prove him. Wait. Mandy told Lefty the other day in chat you are Lisa's favorite, and he said it's him. Prove him wrong. I don't know who Lisa's favorite is. It's probably not me, but I don't think I want to get involved in that conversation. Are dwarf chain loaches good to put in a 55? Absolutely. How big do they generally get? Like 3 inches. They are a like shoaling fish. Like they do like to be in a group. They're not a schooling fish, but they will school. But they definitely like to be in groups. So like a 55, you can get like 6 of them in there at least. You can do a lot. I told Lefty that Mandy that's the accurate statement. Mandy is Lisa's favorite for sure. Clown loaches equal snail killers. Yeah, but not a lot of us have, 2,000-gallon aquariums for a group of clown loaches. That's an exaggeration. You don't need a tank that big, but they do get big. I told Lefty, okay. Wait, I gotta go back. Typed it wrong. I don't know. Mitchell Broom says, crush a bunch of the snails you see in your Cory tanks and they will love you for it. Not a long-term cleanup like loaches, but it's another live food source they will eat. That's a good option. I guess like if I'm in the tank anyways, I'll start smashing them. But I definitely like the set it and forget it of loaches. Like just get them in there, let them snoop around for a couple days, kill everything, move them over. And the idea is I'm getting my group of dwarf chain loaches, going to separate them up into smaller groups, run them through all my tanks. When that's done, I'm going to put them in their own tank and breed them. That's the goal. I got some other. I haven't shown anyone. I haven't told anyone. So exclusive. Not that it's a big deal, but I've slowly started collecting some loaches because I want to breed loaches too. Have you ever thought about putting up orchids in the plant wall? No. I don't have much interest in orchids, to be honest. And maybe that's unfair, but I haven't really heard many good things about orchids. What I mean, as far as like keeping and caring for orchids, I just heard they're really fragile, and I don't want any part of that. Like, I can put these pothos up here, and like it's just set it and forget it. I don't know, orchids. I've just heard that they're kind of finicky, and maybe that's wrong. I don't know, but please explain the difference between scooping fish and shoaling fish. I'm assuming you mean schooling fish. So, or did I say? I might have missed. I don't know if you're trolling me or if that's a typo. I just assumed trolling. But so the difference between schooling fish. So schooling is when you see a group of fish like swimming around, right? Shoaling is when you just see a group of fish kind of just hanging around, right? Like, if we were all how many are us? 200 people here. If we were all in like the same room, we would just be shoaling. We would be a shoal of humans talking about fish. Now, if there was 200 of us and we're running laps around the racetrack, now we're schooling humans. I don't know, probably not the best analogy, but it's an analogy. Spell check got me. Okay, yeah. So when I say shoaling fish, for me, that's just fish that like to be in a group, right? Because there's definitely fish that, like pea puffers, I've found that like to be in a group. Now, do pea puffers, do they school around and swim everywhere? No. But they hang out, they keep each other company. Just, I don't know. Does that explain it? I hope that explains it all right. Just dropped in some ram's horns in the Laticara. They didn't make it to the bottom. Kristen says, I love my orchids. They're pretty hardy. I don't water them for weeks. Really? I don't know. I just heard so many bad things about keeping orchids. Not like bad, but just how much care they require. And to be fair, I haven't even researched it myself. It's just all just hearsay from things I've heard. When I first got my rainbow darters, they annihilated the smaller ram's hornet in their tank. They let the larger ones live. Interesting. Do any fish eat nearite snail eggs? I sure wish. If there's one, if someone out there tells me that there's a fish that will eat those eggs, I will love them forever, because I love nearite snails, but I refuse to ever get them again just because of those eggs. Can't stand the eggs everywhere. Lady says, any chance you and John will ever venture up north for Fishtoberfest? I guess that would be northwest. That would be fun. The fact that it's only like a one-day event now, I don't know. Like, if I'm being 100% honest, I don't know that it's worth going coast to coast for Fishtoberfest. Especially now that Kenny's not even in charge of it anymore. Like, there's a lot of what ifs. Like, I don't plan on going to it this year. If Kenny was still in charge, I'd be like, oh yeah, I would be down there in a heartbeat. But I don't know. I'm not too excited about going now, so I probably won't. There is a freshwater slug in Sulawesi that eats nearite eggs. Well, that really helps us out. Oh, my back is killing me. A lot of orchids are really easy. All right, so I'm not afraid to admit that I'm very ignorant when it comes to orchids and almost every houseplant. Pothos and philodendrons and monstera I've become really familiar with. At least I would hope so, because I sell them. But yeah, anything outside of that, pepperoni plants are pretty easy, or if you want to call them peperomia, that's fine, but they're pepperoni plants. I do love those. I'm not much of a fan of Hoyas, although I do like a lot of species of Hoyas. They just, I don't know, they grow really slow. They're kind of boring, whatever. What else? Spider plants. I love spider plants. I don't know. It's hard to deviate from a good philo or pothos. I heard Bob was going to Clash, right, Bob? Nope, not going to Clash. Not after they did my boy dirty. I'm not going. Well, I guess they did my girl dirty. Not going. When one turns left, they all turn left is a school, but when they're all in a group but in different directions, it's a shoal. Not a fan. Don't get me, like, the Hoyos are cool. They just grow slow, kind of boring. I like pepperoni plants because you can literally just cut the leaf in half and then just stick the leaf in the dirt and it grows a new one. Like, how easy is that? And they grow fast-ish. Took me 1 year for 2 leaves and new flowers. Is that orchid? If you're talking about orchids, Keegan, that's exactly why I don't want to keep one. Do we have any idea where Fishtoberfest will be held at Steenfott Aquatics, or is it still up in the air? Is Steenfott Aquatics still here? I would assume so. Uh-oh. Someone's messaging me. Did I just get in trouble? Did I say something I shouldn't have? Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o. I'm in trouble. Dang. Ignore my phone for an hour and a half and I got like 50 notifications. Snake plants are amazing and almost impossible to kill. Yeah, and they're really good air purifiers too, which is good for me because I have 3 dogs. Not that it stinks in here, but just made my first aquatic plant and shrimp sale of the year to my LFS. They always purchase stuff from me, like the isopods. I'm always selling to them every weekend and has become another income. Yeah, that's good. That's good. It's always fun and a bonus to make money from your hobbies. I've always done this my entire life. Starting in my late teens, that I start making money in my hobbies. I was lucky and had parents that taught me how to do that, and kind of said you needed, I don't know that they taught me. I would say they forced my hand, right? They would stop giving me money. My allowance was only like $5 a month. So they kind of forced me to learn how to make money at my hobbies, and I've done it ever since. And today with social media, it is so easy. So easy. Lisa, I heard that nobody should mess with you when you got your sights on something. I would. Absolutely. Now I'm going to wait till she has her sights on something. I'm going to run up the price so far. Oh boy, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this. My Geophagus standichneri refuse to eat. I've lost one already. What can I do to them to get them to start eating? I've tried feeding New Life Spectrum pellets, fluval bug bites, and live foods. You could try frozen, but you could try live foods. Something that's going to be in the substrate, like blackworms. If you have an LFS that has live blackworms, they live in the substrate. That would be helpful. But there's some people that swear by what is it? Garlic guard, I think. I think garlic is a stimulant. It's like an appetite stimulant. But you're probably going to want to look for some type of disease and cure that. Because if they're not eating, it's usually 2 things. Once, they're sick, they got a disease, or 2, it's water parameters. Test your waters. By far and away, I would say that water parameters are the number 1 reason fish stop eating. And I know, everyone says my water parameters are fine. But did you actually test it, or are you just assuming they're fine? I feel like 99% of the time someone says my water parameters are perfect, my water parameters are fine. I think we all know that's false. So if you haven't tested your water, I would highly recommend testing your water. Christian, like I said, I suck at plants. I don't blame the orchid at all. I use aquarium co-op tank ferts in the tank and then use the tank water to water my orchids. Easy fert that isn't too much. You know what else you can do? For anyone who eats bananas, just chop up the peel, soak it in water for an hour, 2 hours, however long. I would say an hour at minimum. And then just give that water to your plants. I mean, potassium, phosphorus. There's so much stuff in banana peels that'll leach into the water. Feed that to your plants. 100% all natural fertilizer. Bob, live blackworms are MIA. Nobody seems to have any for sale. Huh, interesting. Let me check. Let me do a quick check here. Oh, yeah, look at that. They're not on my list this week. Interesting. More supply chain issues. I wonder if they were, like, the farms were poisoned and they were killed off. Who knows? Crazy Aquarium Guy says, hey, buddy, you are live at 3:30 a.m. Again, Crazy Bigfoot. Hope you are doing great. I am always doing great. And even if I wasn't, I would lie and say I am. Fish poop is the best plant fertilizer. I mean, I can't argue with that. I mean, how many of us haven't scooped out tank water and watered our plants with it? If you haven't, you should. But you're not going to have any or hardly any, hopefully any ammonia, and plants do love ammonia. Ammonium. Ben Ochart says, banana peels and coffee grounds have our plants growing crazy. Jennifer says, Eastern Aquatics has blackworms. There you go. Ted Rock says, sweeping generalizations. Isn't that how everyone does it these days? Sweeping. Leslie says, I test my water weekly. That's awesome. I certainly don't. And I am 100% guilty of doing that myself. I got way too cocky, and my Mabu Pleco was sick. And I messaged Corey, and I'm like, hey, this is what's going on with my Pleco. Like, what's going on? He's like, what are your water parameters? I'm like, I don't know. They're fine. Like, all the other fish are fine. The parameters are fine. He's like, what are your parameters? I'm like, ugh. So I tested my water, and wouldn't you know it, it crashed. And my pH was, like, super low. And then I just felt like a jagoff. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm one of those idiots now. And to be fair, I've probably always been one of those idiots, but I've done it too. We've all been there. Eastern Aquatics has a 2-week waiting list for them. Wow. So it seems to me like people should be buying red wigglers, right? I realize they're not aquatic worms or anything, but like if you can't get live blackworms, get yourself some red wigglers. Bring out the jug. Okay, I could use some more. I'm gonna wet my whistle. Jennifer says, Mitchell, I haven't had that problem. They have had limits. Oh, you two should box. Get out the boxing gloves. I check every week. I have a super secret stash of blackworms in a 20 gallons. Yeah, I'm covered for now. That's crazy. Like, what's going on over there in California? Like, what's the dealio? Has anyone, like, messaged them? California blackworms. What are you guys doing over there? You guys crash? What's going on? Oh, that didn't work. Let me take a peek at these guys. It says they are not tube effects. These are live blackworms. They are not tube effects. Out of stock. Okay. Let's try. Oh, here's Eastern Aquatics right here. What do they say? Temporary shortage. We are currently not accepting any orders from new customers. Please email me your info. We will be glad to put you on a wait list. Should be no more than 1 to 2 weeks. Eastern Aquatics says, we have planted many new ponds, but it'll be some time until we are able to harvest and are back up to normal production. Please bear with us. Sorry, it's an inconvenience. There you go. Not accepting new customers, and current customers have a 1 to 2 week waiting list. Oh, wow. Look at their facility. This is crazy. Let me show you guys this. This place is huge. How have I never heard of this place before? I've literally never heard of this place. Here we go. Look at where are the pictures at? Where are the pictures? Oh, look at here we go. Look at those ponds. This is really small. Here, let me. Whoop. That didn't work. Here we go. Whoop. That's better. Wow, that's crazy. All right, there you go. Who wants to make $1 million? Start your own blackworm farm. Ooh, wholesale pricing. Maybe when they're back up and running, I'll have to get some wholesale going. Do I want to play this? No, I don't want to play that video. I don't want to get in trouble. Interesting. What kind of prices we got here? 5,000 worms, give or take, $35. Interesting. This place is kind of neat. I you know what? This would be kind of. I know it's just blackworms, but it would be kind of fun to visit this place. Where are they at? About us. Here we go. That doesn't tell me anything about you. That basically every company says that. Contact us. Maybe they have an address here. No. Okay, 717. 717. 717. Oops, not 17. 717 area code. Where are we at? Pennsylvania. Interesting. That's kind of interesting. Have a live blackworm farm in Pennsylvania? I feel like it would get too cold there. Huh. Well, look at that. Learn something new every day. We're all learning something today, hopefully. I just did. Where am I at? Do you want to look at some corridoras? There we go. How about that? There's some corridoras for you. We can look at this for a while. Lancaster, PA, York, PA, basically the same thing. Mitchell Broom says there's actually 2 blackworm farms in the U.S., California blackworms and Eastern Aquatics. I'm telling you, it sounds like an opportunity to bust into that market. I don't know. JD Partridge, what's going on? Said I had an ammonia spike last week in a 7-month-old heavily planted tank. Now I'm testing daily. I think it might have been from too much maintenance. I mean, you can definitely lose your cycle from too much maintenance. I would say it's pretty rare, but it's definitely possible. Oh, here's a good question. Life in Liquid says, what species do you most miss keeping? Definitely my Mabu puffer, like hands down. I've kind of sworn off puffers, but I'm sure I'll get another one someday. I've just had the worst luck when it comes to puffers. Red wigglers are feed them now better than any. The red wigglers are awesome. Feed them now better than any frozen food. I highly recommend red wigglers. All day long, red wigglers. Very good food. He's gonna say Tropheus or some rare rainbow. Ha, you were wrong. Wrong on both accounts. Jennifer says red wigglers. I had tetras and purple coolie loaches. How do you feed? I had worm bins for compost. I hadn't thought of feeding the fish. So a smaller fish like that, you will have to chop them up. Which, you know, not the funnest thing in the world to do. But, you know, I fed them to my rainbows and they would just rip them apart. So I didn't have to chop them up, thankfully. But yeah, any smaller fish like that, you'll have to chop them up. You shouldn't have to chop them up, for cories. But it's still probably better that you do. Lurking and setting up my new 180-gallon tank. Ooh, that sounds awesome. Alex said, what happened to California blackworms? I'm moving back there. I don't know. I didn't even see their site come up when I searched for it, and their site didn't even come up. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe they have me blacklisted. UPS living the dream with a $10 super chat says, thanks for the stream tonight. No, thank you, and thank everyone for coming out. I appreciate it. We're not done yet. Don't go anywhere. Unless you want to watch the video I put out last weekend. It is acceptable for you to leave, watch that video, and come back. It's only 7 minutes. What are the scissors for? Are there scissors somewhere? I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking to me? Same thing happened to me when I took the tank down once more. I just started some micro banana Walter worms and vinegar eel cultures the other day. Blackworms and Daphnia will be a spring-summer project. I need to do micro worms and vinegar eels. I definitely need to get those going. Vinegar eels, I mean, talk about like super easy live food to do. Does it get any easier than vinegar eels? For cutting up worms? No, I use a knife. I would use a knife, not scissors. Do I believe that Mexican dwarf crays would do okay with albino cories and bettas? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Generally speaking, they're a very peaceful fish. Yeah, there's no audio, like music playing, is there? Okay, good. My hairy puffers live with tank mates. Myth busted again. By Zach. There you go. Myth busted. Well, like I always say, there's definitely no absolutes in this hobby. Well, I mean, there is. Like, your fish are absolutely going to die if you don't have water in your aquarium. But besides, you know, ridiculous things like that, no absolutes. Nancy B in Tennessee says, Johnny, I saw your post on Discord. Oh, I hate Discord so much. I'm thinking of ordering the same. Did we make it? Oh, no. Here are the similis. Anyways, I'm thinking of ordering the same. All these rainbow shiner fry have to eat. Oh, that's right. I already forgot about those. My Mexican dwarf cray used to grab onto my bed as fins and get a quick ride from the top of the aquarium to the top of the aquarium. Hey, work smarter, not harder, right? UPS, you're living the dream says, hey, Ben Ochart, long time no see. How are you liking our volunteer state? Maybe I'll just look for the baby worms. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you get a good colony going, like, you'll never not have small baby worms. They'll be everywhere. Single razor blade. Yeah, I mean, I use a knife, but yeah, razor blade, same deal. 10 figure 8 puffers growing and thriving in freshwater. Myth busted. So, come back in 3 years and let me know how that goes. There's a lot of brackish fish that can survive in freshwater for a very long time. Like the dragon goby. That's one that can go in saltwater for a year before it starts having problems. Very long time. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying, you know, that it's going to happen, but I'd be very curious, you know, two years down the line, like how's that working? Loving the corridors foot. I know I need to make more compilation videos like this. Technically, I didn't make this one, but I do need to get more because it's kind of cool. It's kind of neat. Gives you something to look at besides my ugly mug. Alex, to split them for multiplying or just to feed them? No, that seems excessive. Just to feed? No. It is to feed. You chop up the worms to feed. That's the whole point. We're talking about red wigglers because their red wigglers are much larger than blackworms, but obviously way smaller than earthworms. Matt West says, I missed the con color at Dan's Fish. I guess I just need to wait till next time. I didn't. I got me some. I'll be breeding them hopefully here in the next month or two. Actually, they probably have a bit of growing out to do before they'll spawn. Mindy says, what could be a main attraction fish for my 20-gallon hexagon column tank? I'm not gonna lie, I really do not like those tanks, but maybe we can think of something. A single fish, that is. I've watched lots of videos on this, but they're always for 20-gallon, for long 20-gallon. So the 20-gallon column tanks in general, the reason why you don't find this video out there is because they're just not very popular. A lot of people do not like tall tanks, and this is something. I think in time, Mindy, you're going to come to really not like that tank because fish don't like to swim up and down, right? They like to swim back and forth. Like, you never see schooling fish going like this. And I know you said one fish, but even one fish, they don't swim up and down, right? They swim back and forth. So a lot of people, myself included, like when I first got into the hobby, I was like, oh, look at this column tank. It's so tall and cool. But then you start putting fish in there and you're just like, it just doesn't look right. Like, the fish aren't acting like fish. They kind of look lethargic. It's because there's nowhere for them to swim, right? There's just not a lot of room there to go back and forth. I'm not trying to like rain on your parade or anything. So, I mean, that's just realistically, that's why you don't see a lot of like centerpiece fish type content for those column tanks. That means I'm like, I don't know. I'd go back to like maybe like a gourami, like maybe, you know, a slower, gouramis are kind of a slower moving fish. I'd have to go back to gouramis on that one, like a single gourami. Where to get red wigglers besides a bait shop? Jim's Worm Farm, I believe, right? It's even free shipping. Jim's Worm Farm. Is it Uncle Jim's? Oh, Uncle Jim's Worm Farm. I don't know that I've never seen these at a bait shop, so I'm not sure if you can get them at a bait shop. I see earthworms at bait shops all the time. But here's where you want to go. Uncle Jim's fish farm. Uncle Jim's Worm Farm. Oh, of course I blew this up really big. There we go. I hate these pop-ups. I despise these stupid pop-ups. Come on, Jim. Come on, Jim. Get rid of that. Just for me. Would you? Close that out. This is where I've gotten my red wigglers every single time. And I've always had really good luck with old Uncle Jim here. Which is probably like some 20-year-old female that owns this. But Uncle Jim's Worm Farm just sounds good. Like, I'm an old guy breeding farms. Or breeding worms. I'm just kidding. It probably is Jim. But yeah, there you go. As far as locally, I don't know. And there's lots of other stuff here too. You know, all the like the foods and the beddings, which is really not necessary, but buy live worms. So for $30 you can get 250. I always get 500. This is the one I get. $35, 500. And I believe it's free shipping. If I remember correctly. I don't remember ever paying for shipping, but I might be wrong. But yeah. To be fair, I say never. I've only ordered 3 times, right? And I've never got like weird bugs. I've never got like everything, like the soil when you get it, like it smells fresh. Just really a really nice experience from old Uncle Jim. Old Zenny and old Uncle Jim. Dino says, Dino Supremo. I like it. Does anyone feed frozen rotifers? I don't. I've seen that people do it, but I've never done it. Who can say no to the Corey winks, right? That's such good footage when they wink when you're filming. I had an 80-gallon hex with an 18-inch clown knife and a 13-inch needle nose gar as a kid. Wow. Minnie says, yeah, I've learned that. Unfortunately, we got to start out from my angel when he was little, but he's in a big tank now. So yes, I'm learning this so quickly. Yeah, I mean, that's honestly one of the fun things about the hobby is you really never stop learning. I need to get up in 2 hours. Thanks for the stream. Awesome, Bob. Bye, fellow fish lovers. See you later, Zach. Hope you have a good night. Good day tomorrow. All that stuff. Good week. Johnny says, the last 2 batches of Corridor's concolor have been pretty small. We'll bring in more sooner than later. And if you missed the beginning of the stream, I did announce there, Johnny, that you guys are hopefully going to be getting some Corridoras napioensis pretty soon. Be pretty sweet. Looking forward to adding to my shoal, my school. All right, let's... They don't come with free leeches like blackworms? I know. pity. Such a pity. I have a nice gross story for y'all. I made a batch of Repashy a while ago, and was in my fish room feeding, and set it somewhere that I shouldn't have set it because, of course, I forgot about it, and it was out of the way. Never saw it. I walked into my fish room one day, and I was like, "What is that smell?" Like, came in the morning, and I was like, "Holy smokes, what is going on in here?" And use the old schnoz, find my way to the to the really old Repashy, and under the Repashy was a lot of maggots. And a lot of people think maggots are disgusting, but you know what? I turned that negative into a positive, and I fed all my fish maggots that day. I'll tell you, rainbow fish, they love maggots. I'm telling you. There's my gross story. I had maggots in my fish room. Yikes. I want to do another big wild Cory order, but I doubt Dan is into that idea. I want to do that. Can I fund that? I would 100% do that. I would love it. Steenfott Aquatics, is it safe to dig up worms in my yard and feed my fish? It depends. Like, are you using like fertilizers, any weed killers? Are your neighbors using fertilizers or any weed killers? Like me, I'm way out in the woods. I 100%, like when I was building my house and like digging up stuff, if I saw worms, I picked them up and threw them in my fish tanks, like every single day. Oh yeah, we were gonna talk with Johnny about this. Rob A says, "Why can't you all pack 8 instead of 7 in a small box?" That's what I said. It used to be 6 in a small, I know. But so when I open up the small box and I see a row of 4 and a row of 3, my brain thinks, like, why can't we just get 2 rows of 4 in there? Like, there's clearly enough room for a row of 4, row of 3. Why? I feel like, what's going in that dead space? Like, we should be able to get another bag in there, right? Why can't we do 2 rows of 4? I don't know. Does the heat pack, does it make too much? Is that extra spot for the heat pack? Like, what's going on here? If I had to call them, I'd grow a tall plant like bamboo out the top and keep a school of nanofish around the roots. That's an excellent idea. Get some pothos, phylos, whatever. Grow it out the top. Get the roots just hanging and growing down the bottom. And, yeah, I think you'd be much better off with small schooling fish in that aquarium. Like the chili rasboras or the phoenix rasboras. And then, like, shrimp. Put some shrimp in there. That would be way cooler than, like, one fish looking cramped in that tank. That's a great idea. Great idea. Apparently the best way to culture a mosquito larva is to pour old milk into the water. That seems weird. Like, I can just fill up a tank outside and like 2 weeks later I have mosquito larvae. The second row has to be at an angle. Now I don't remember. I'm gonna have to pull up the video. Good thing I took pictures. Oh wait, I have pictures on my phone. Let me just look at this. Let's take a look. Let me I hate the way the iPhone does pictures, by the way, so this might take a minute. Okay, here we go. Oh, I see. I see. So, let me see if you guys can see. The row of 3 is at an angle, and then up here, there's not enough to angle another bag. Okay. I guess all I had to do was look at the picture. But I feel like, hey. Okay. So, especially for Corridoras, I feel like the bags don't need to be as wide. So can we get like, I don't know if are these 4-inch bags, 3-inch bags? I don't know. Can we get maybe a little thinner bag so you don't have to angle it? I mean, I'm sure Dan, who's way smarter than me, has already thought about all these different possibilities. But My dumb brain says, can we just get a little bit thinner bags and then do 4, like 2 rows of 4? I don't know. I guess we'll let that slide this time. Next time you come out, we'll let you figure out how to get 8 inches. Yeah, oh boy, the places I could go with that. I think I'll just leave that one alone. Just getting bags that don't leak is hard enough. I was accusing my husband of setting a mousetrap and forgetting it. Imagine when I found out what it was. I apologized for a month. I unknowingly dropped a cube of frozen bloodworms between my refrigerator and the stove. Well, let's not forget about the time I forgot my pack of frozen clams in my Jeep in the dead of summer. That is a smell I will never forget, ever. Because I drive like maybe once a week, maybe. So it had a lot of time to sit in that Jeep in 100 plus. Well, it was probably like 140, right, after it heats up. Greg Jones, just buy the giant box and close your eyes when you enter the CC number. Yeah. Oh boy. Apparently the best way to culture mosquito larvae. Oh, I already got that one. Odd number don't work for some of us. I'm glad I'm not the only one, Rob. Like, see, we talked about this earlier, and I'm just like, 7 just... I don't know. Like, the odd number is like, it should be 8. It should just be 8. Why can't you just, like, get one square bag, fill it with water, dump a bunch of fish in there, close it all up, and ship it off? I mean, that sounds like it would work. Mitchell Broom says, oh man, dead snails are the worst smell in the world. It really is. I imagine clams being the same. Oh, so like mystery snails, when they climb out and dry up and stink, that's nothing compared to an entire pack of, oh man, it was bad. I can change it back to 6 and forward all the complaints to you. I mean, sure, I don't answer my email anyway, so what do I care? Anyone that's emailed me knows it takes me like 3 months to email them back. To be fair, the medium size from Dan is only $6 more for shipping, and you can fit way more. I think I usually go with the 6, or with the medium. I don't remember. I have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing. What is this again? I don't know. Lady says, thanks for the awesome stream, Bob. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much. It is actually that time. We have hit the 2-hour mark, and it is time to go. I'm going to go have some dinner. I've got the best chicken wings just calling my name, and I'm going to go heat some up, and that's going to be my dinner. So thanks, everyone, for hanging out. I really, really appreciate it. Any last-minute announcements? I don't think so. Yeah, I think that's it. I hope you all have a great week. Again, thank you so much. Pretty sure your last 2 boxes have been small. Then I made a huge mistake, because the medium is like this, basically the same price. Then I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe you just didn't have enough of the fish I want. Maybe you only had like 7 left. That sounds good to me. I'll go with that. You only had 7 left of the fish I wanted, so I did the small box. There we go. That's it. All right. I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you same bat time, same bat channel next week, 5 p.m. PST Pacific.